Colorado, home to some of the finest trout streams and rivers in the lower 48, and home to some of the best fly tyers as well. In the next few minutes, we'll visit with these artists as they create their signature fly patterns. We'll also join them as they fish Rocky Mountain National Park, the Frying Pan, the South Platte, the Arkansas, and the Colorado. Fly tying is part craft and part magic, binding bits of hair, fur, and feathers to a hook in an attempt to create something that will fool a trout requires a keen sense of observation. The best tyers are also avid fishermen who have a thorough knowledge of the life cycle of all of the various things that trout eat, and who have spent hours observing trout in their natural habitat. Each of the master tyers profiled in this show have made great contributions to their craft as creators of flies that fool trout. Flies that are designed to deceive.
I'm Iwamasa, and today we're fishing midges on the Frying Pan River late in September, and as you can see, it's a really a beautiful time of the season to be out. On the frying pan, these fish attain this behavior because they have been feeding on these small insects since they have been small fry. And over the years, they know what these insects look like, and they know when it's going to happen. They know the size. They know the behavior of these insects, and those fish on the frying pan get that way after years and years and years. And so, as a fly fisherman, I always thought it was our job to, as a fly tyers too, was to create those fly patterns that imitate, suggest, the favorite stages of these insects, as the way that the trout come to know these insects. Yeah, I avoided fishing midges because it was exasperating to see these fish rising and changing flies and doing whatever I could to get them to strike and take my fly. Okay, things are starting to move now. Things are starting to happen. In fishing the frying pan over many years, I've come to really slow down and pay attention to what the trout were doing. I always found it very interesting, these as very complex problems, and until I slowed down and began to actually photograph the emergence process of these insects, that I really come to fully understand, the kind of fly patterns that I had to tie in order to better cope with, catching these fish during a hatch, during a midge hatch. And so this pattern that I'm tying is a very simple pattern, a very simple solution to what I thought was a very complex problem. And as I'm getting this material ready, I'm taking the flat portion of the primary wing feather of a mallard, and I'm going to be tying on what would otherwise be known as the trailing shuck. And you also see this upturn of the fiber, and it's really also what happens as the insect departs from its larva case. It flattens out, but also there's this little kind of whip that you'll see too as it emerges from the larva case. All right, so what I just tied on was some poly yarn at the bend of the hook, and the poly yarn is, in this case, is white, and this is going to be the wing pad area of the adult. Right, and I'm using black synthetic yarn, primarily because synthetic, because it doesn't absorb water so easily, and more importantly, it's easier to dry off more so than using animal fur, such as black rabbit. The frying pan, the fish in the frying pan, over the years are very much accustomed to feeding on large numbers of very, very, very small insects. And this is what was so the problem that I encountered that led to so much frustration on my part. And the actual sequence of the emergence process takes about 3 to 4 seconds once the insect floats to the surface and emerges. And so this fly pattern was a result of having observed fish, wild trout, feeding in this kind of situation for a number of years that I just never understood, because I would either fish the larva or I would fish the adult. So going on with this, I'm going to leave a little bit of room right behind the eye of the hook for then what would be the appearance of the legs of this adult insect. And this is optional, but I put this on here because this does very faithfully resemble the adult insect as it emerges from the trailing shuck. All right, I'm going to use a wrap and a half, not a lot of legs here, right? And because this fly is going to float by itself, and the legs, for the most part, are unnecessary, other than to represent the actual appearance of this insect. All right, now I'm going to take the poly yarn from the back bend of the hook. I'm going to pull it directly over the top of the hook and tie this off right behind the eye. It's an absolutely enjoyable pastime of mine, and I enjoy using or making these flies as an excuse to go out and go fishing and try them and see how they actually work. Over the years, I have found that I have been able to, with some keen observations about the insects and the trout behavior, come up with flies that I thought were very unique and able to catch fish in circumstances where I derive a great deal of satisfaction as well as confidence in my work as a fly tyer. And so that's the job of the imitation, is being able to duplicate, replicate that particular insect hatching process as the fish would see it, not as we see it, but as the fish see it. That process, and that to me has taken a number of years to understand how that all comes together. But that to me, I think, is the challenge of the fly tyer these days. 7X, I'm not really pushing this fish at all. So. Doesn't want to get close. Now, Frying pan rainbow, and it's a emerger there. Oh, dang it, you got off. He's right down there at your feet. Finally, Sam. Success.